any injuries.
Correct.
Because he and I had not been at it with one another.
So every time that you guys fight, you both hit each other? So you should have probably gone to jail all those times that he went to jail for domestic?
Well, the one time I did. But he completely trashed the police report. Because that's nothing what happened. Because the reason why I got taken in was because my story was different than his.
Welcome back. Today we are going to do a rewind to Sarah Boone's 2018 domestic violence arrest, which ironically or coincidentally happened on July 25th, 2018. In July 25th, 2024, we just saw her as her own pro se defendant in her second-degree murder trial. So this is kind of like a Sarah Boone origin story. So I want to get into it and look at the arrest affidavit as well as the body cam footage. Both of these were provided from the channel Transparent Tea. Amazing channel. I will put a link to their channel and this video in the description. Go support them, say hi, put a little goat in their comment section. It made me laugh a lot, all the people who put the goats in the letter video. So I appreciate that, and why not spread that love a little bit. With that said, let's get into it. Okay, I wanted to read through the actual arrest affidavit before we get into the body cam footage itself. Just so you know what the officer said happened before we watch, because, sometimes the audio isn't that great, but things to look out for. On July 25th, 2018 at 01:52 hours, I, Detective Sergeant Zito, responded to Tealwood Park Apartments, reference a male kicked a female in the eye. I later determined this to be an aggravated battery by strangulation and battery case, both being dating violence. Upon my arrival, I spoke to Sarah Catherine Boone, Defendant 1, Victim 2. Sarah verbally stated she was at an unknown bar earlier in the evening when she asked an unknown male for a cigarette. Her boyfriend, George Torres Jr., Defendant 2, Victim 1, of 1.5 years, became upset since she was talking to another male and left the bar. They both went back to their residence located and continued verbally arguing. Sarah was dragged upstairs by George, and she was kicked her in the eye using his right heel. Sarah was unable to describe how she fell to the ground and or how she was dragged upstairs by George. Sarah refused medical treatment. Sarah refused to write a statement and or sign any dating violence paperwork. After I spoke to Sarah, I spoke to George. George verbally stated they were both at their residence, verbally arguing, and have been consuming alcohol. They have been dating for 1.5 years and residing together for 1.2 years. George attempted to go upstairs to avoid Sarah. While George was walking upstairs, Sarah reached towards George's throat using both of her hands. Sarah placed both of her hands around George's throat and applied pressure to the extent that George was having difficult time breathing. George was sitting on the steps and started kicking towards Sarah in an attempt to get her off of him. George believes he might have kicked Sarah in her face, but was not sure. George believed that if he did not kick Sarah off of him, she would have made him incapacitated due to being strangled. George refused medical treatment. George also refused to write a statement and or sign any dating violence paperwork. Both Sarah and George stated they have been dating for approximately 1 year and 6 months and residing together for approximately 1 year and 2 months. The left side of George's neck had red markings and small abrasions that is consistent with being strangled. Sarah's right eye is bruised and swollen from receiving an impact. Both Sarah and George allowed Detective Sergeant Ramirez Delgado take pictures of their injuries. Detective Sergeant Ramirez Delgado later uploaded the pictures to DMDA. Both Sarah and George received a victim's right booklet with my name and case number along with a photo injunction referral. Due to conflicting statements and injuries on both Sarah and George, I was unable to determine who the primary aggressor was. I placed both George and Sarah under lawful arrest and search. George was placed into the back seat of my patrol car and Sarah was placed into the back seat of Detective Sergeant Ramirez Delgado's patrol car. I informed both Sarah and George the charges that are being placed against them, which they stated they understood. Due to both parties refusing to write statements and or signing any domestic violence documents, I was unable to complete a victim's request of confidentiality form, authorization for release of confidential information form, and written statements. Both parties stated they don't want to testify and or prosecute against each other. Both Sarah and George were transported to the Orange County Booking and Receiving Center, BRC. George was booked and charged for battery, dating violence, Florida statute, Sarah was booked and charged with aggravated battery by strangulation, dating violence, Florida statute, Both Sarah and George stated they do not own any firearms. My body-worn camera was activated. Okay, so Sarah says she was trying to get a cigarette from some random guy at a bar. George got mad. They go back, arguing. He drags her up the stairs. And then while he's dragging her up the stairs, he decides to kick her down the stairs. So, because I guess abusers like to drag you upstairs to immediately kick you down the stairs. Who actually kicked whom down the stairs in a suitcase? And then she said she doesn't remember where she fell or how this happened, which is always a true sign of a deceiver when they have a story of A to Z. A more truthful story has an A, a B, a C. You know, it doesn't mean every aspect is correct, but it is a consistent narrative that this is a side of the story. A lot of people who overinflate things and are blatantly lying will have an A and a C. And they can't really fill in that B that connects the two because they haven't thought that far. But if it is a lived reality, the B is naturally in there and you don't really have to think that hard about it. George said that they were arguing. They went back to their place. They kept arguing. They were drinking alcohol. He tried to leave. She strangled him. He kicked her off because he thought he was about to pass out. So every single action has motivation and makes sense. They were arguing. He left her because he didn't want to argue, went up the stairs. She found him, strangled him, and then he kicked her off him. Hers is, he got jealous of me at the bar. We were yelling and angry back home. She doesn't bring up the alcohol. And then after the yelling, George drags her up the steps and then kicks her down. So there isn't really a motivation for that, if that makes sense. His motivation was, we were arguing and drinking. I left because I did not want to argue. Hers is, we were arguing and drinking. Then he drags me up the stairs. How is he going up the stairs? What is the motivation for going up the stairs and walking away from you? Those two things conflict for me. Because if most abusers are going to be physical with you, why wouldn't they just be physical with you downstairs where you already were? Why would they take you up the steps halfway and then to kick you down? Which can happen. But again, I would need some motivation for that, because then he just sounds cruel out of nowhere and unjustifiably cruel. I'm mad that I'm mad that I think you're cheating on me, so I'm going to drag you upstairs and kick you down. That does not comport with, I tried to get away from an argument. She choked me on the stairs because I tried to walk away. There's motivation, there's consistent action, and the story overall holds together. And that's why he was charged with just battery, which is a first-degree misdemeanor, still bad. And she was charged with a third-degree felony for aggravated battery by strangulation, which strangulation is a humongous threat detector of eventual partner homicide. Strangling someone has a lot of emotion behind it. You don't just casually strangle someone. Sometimes, people, they can casually hit each other. They didn't intend to hit someone as hard as they did, or they didn't think doing that action, even though the damage from the action can be worse than the intended cause or the intended method of committing that damage. But with strangulation, it's intentional. You are going for the throat, knowing you are cutting off oxygen. And you can't just cut off oxygen in a second. You have to have sustained pressure. There are marks on his neck. And I want you to see in this video, if you can see the marks on his neck versus her injuries, which seem a little more tame. And yet she's the one who called the police. Okay, let's get into the body cam footage.
For a year and a half, and he's going through a whole bunch of shit. Pardon me for saying that.
No. Go ahead.
Pardon me for saying that, but like, oh man, he let loose on my ass tonight, and I'm not having it.
Okay. All right.
I got kicked in the face.
Okay.
Kicked in the face.
Conveniently forgets to mention the strangling.
That you know of, there's no guns,
No,
anything in there?
ma'am,
Okay.
no.
We just have to double check that. There's none of us
I know, baby. You guys are doing your job.
All right,
I know
Sarah
it.
here?
Yes.
Sarah here?
Go get him.
And this is what I'm talking about. She did not call them for her own safety. She called them to, quote, go get George. Because she didn't like him doing what he did. She didn't like him defending himself. So now she called the police so that they would get him, not protect her. There's a difference. If you remember in a previous video, I went over LAV abuse, which is legal administrative aggression or violence, or abusers manipulating the legal system or administrative systems in order to perpetuate the abuse on their victim. It looks a lot like this. I'm going to abuse you, you fight back, I'm calling the police, and you're going to learn your lesson. She sounds vicious and angry.
Yes.
Sarah here?
Go get him. I swear to God, there's nothing for you guys to be afraid of.
Okay.
What's his name?
George.
George? All right.
There's nothing for you guys to be afraid of.
Did she just say there's nothing for you guys to be afraid of? If this is a domestic dispute and you are saying that he attacked you, shouldn't they be on alert? I don't know. The word choice here is weird.
I swear to God, I'm done with this ass dude. He beat the fuck out of me tonight. And I'm done with it. I have to go to work tomorrow.
What's up, George? You want to talk to us? Go outside. Talk to you inside.
What happened inside was redacted, but you see, even to the moment before they open the door, she's trying to stoke it up. It wasn't just he hit me, it's he beat the shit out of me. I have to go to work tomorrow, and I'm done with it. I'm done. But you're not.
Come on, man.
You see my eye?
I do see your eye.
He kicked me in the fucking face.
Okay, tell me how it all went down from beginning to...
Yes, my love.
Okay.
Okay, so we were having a really good day, and we went across the street to Muldoon's, and everything was good and fine and dandy, and...
Fine and dandy? Does that sound familiar?
Everything was fine and dandy.
I wouldn't call
Everything
it fine and dandy.
was fine and dandy. We had a good day. It was a good day. We've had good days lately. It's been good. Like, I don't even know where this is coming from. So happy. Like, it was such a good day. I kid you not. He and I having a great day, fooling around and being stupid, but I would never do that.
But it happened, and you did.
But that's after being playful
But no one's
and
laughing.
having a good day.
No one's laughing except you.
Everybody's
I would hate to see
having
a
a
bad
good day. Oh, I'm sorry?
I would hate to see a bad day. The laughing matter.
It was fun.
Not by that
All
video.
day, all
Not by
day.
that video, that
All
part
day.
wasn't.
It was a great day.
Okay.
It didn't end well.
Because I talked to another guy because he left, came in there, and I got so mad, because I asked for a cigarette from another guy because he took my license, my debit card, and everything. Cigarettes, everything. Took everything. Took everything.
Okay.
So I asked someone for a cigarette, and it happened to be a guy. So he walked in and got super pissed because I asked for a cigarette from another guy.
Now, I'm not defending his possessiveness because get over that. That's not a good trait. However, I do want to bring up this, her language. I don't know. This kind of always makes me uncomfortable when people are like, no, baby. It's okay, baby. Yes, my love. I know, baby. You're just doing your job. Sometimes that works on some people, but when it doesn't work, it does not work. Property manager also said that she's a very touchy-feely person, that she actually had to tell her, if you don't stop touching me, we're going to have a problem.
She kept grabbing me by the arms to the point that I told her, I said, you touch me one more time, we're going to have a problem. You know, I'm either going to contact the police or whatever we need to do, but you can't keep grabbing on me. I had asked her several times to quit touching me. And because of that, she would do the same thing to Jean, and Jean didn't like it.
So having someone this touchy-feely, oh, hi, baby, can I please have a cigarette, baby? So still not justifying if George got jealous over that and then blew up over that. However, she does give off the vibes of over-the-top flirtation in any kind of scenario in order to manipulate an outcome. Give me a cigarette. I mean, and I've seen people do that, and that's kind of harmless in itself. However, you know, there might be some slight justification to his mental, not actions.
I came home. Mind you, my car is across the street still.
Okay. So you get home, you go inside.
Oh, man. Let loose.
Okay, elaborate. So you open the door. What happens from there?
I'm a whore.
He starts calling you names? Okay.
When I say ragdoll, do you know what that is?
I know what a rag doll is.
Oh, man. I was ragdolled.
Okay, but I need
you.
you.
In the face.
Okay, I need you to elaborate. Like, you walk into the house. Did you start arguing? He started calling you names. You said he was.
No, I walked out. I walked in and I walked to the back. I just wanted to smoke a cigarette and just go to sleep. I just literally wanted to I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. I'm gonna go to sleep.
And then as you're making your way to the back, what happened?
I got caught on the stairwell.
You got caught on the stairwell. So he caught you on the stairwell. And what did he get in front of you? Started confronting you, telling you anything? What happened?
And this is what I was talking about earlier. She has an A and a C, but she doesn't have a B. So she says, he called me all these things. We were yelling, we were arguing, and then I got caught on the stairs. How did we get to the stairs? I don't know. I went to go smoke a cigarette. Okay, well then how are you on the stairs? I don't know. Do they have a balcony or something? But I heard it's like just 2 floors, so I imagine there's an out. No, because they have a porch out back, and she mentioned that that's where they would go to smoke cigarettes. So she would be going on the 1st floor. How does she get caught up on the stairs? She is struggling to try to make this make sense.
It was bad.
Okay. Elaborate, Miss Sarah. I need you to tell me exactly what happened so I can help you.
My heart is like, I don't want him to get in trouble, but fuck, I'm tired of being beaten up.
See, no. Because what is this? This is just completely abandoning any form of answer and going to, oh, it was just so bad. It was just so bad. I can't explain. It was just so bad. But I don't want to get him in trouble. That's why I just called you guys here. And then 2 seconds ago, I told you to get him. But I don't want to get him in trouble. It's just so bad. And I'm also noticing she never says what she said in any kind of scenario. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I don't think she ever says, he said blank, and then I said blank, or this was happening, and I said blank. So, for all we know, she's completely silent and mute this whole time. And let's see if that pans out to be true.
Okay. I understand I'm trying to help you out, but I
know
need
you are. I know you are.
I need you to elaborate a little bit. So,
I swear
in
to
the
God,
stairwell?
Dragging me down the stairs. I went upstairs, tried to get in the bed. I just wanted to go to sleep. I just wanted to go to sleep. I just wanted to go to sleep. I didn't make it to the bed. He caught me in the upstairs.
Like in the hallway?
Beating the fuck up. That's all I can say.
Okay, what do you mean? Like, I see your eye. What you said he kicked you in the eye.
That's what this is. That's what this foot.
Were you on the floor when he kicked you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how did you get to the floor? Did he push you? Did he pull you? How?
She is so drunk, she can't even pretend to make a story up right now. The officer is giving her a story. She's like, okay, Miss Sarah, I'm gonna need you to tell me what's going on. Were you on the floor? Yes, I was. Yes, exactly. That's where I was. How did we get there? So bad. It was just so bad. This is just cringe at this point.
Normally what I do is, because he does it so often, I just go to the floor. I just go to the floor. So I'm pretty sure I don't really recollect. I went to the ground.
Okay. And then that's when he
I'm so
kicked you?
sorry. I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm cursing
no,
in front of you.
that's fine.
I just go to the floor. I just go to the floor. I thought he had you up the steps, though. But okay. And then the only thing she's sorry for is cursing in front of the officer? Is that supposed to mean, see, I am so sorry. See, I would never even curse in front of you. That is so outside of my character, meaning, of course I would have never done anything bad here. I'm too good to even curse in front of you. I'm so sorry, baby. I don't know. This is just, no. We see where she gets it from now. This is who she was when this whole thing went down. And now she wants you to believe she's this whole entirely different person, which you can tell, no, even without the alcohol, all of these behaviors and tactics are still there. It just all comes off as manipulation, and she wants to say exactly what she needs to say for them to believe her, punish him, and then go on with their night.
So you went down to the ground.
Yes, that's what I do.
Did he kicked you with which, do you recall which foot?
Right.
Right foot, okay.
Heel.
His heel. Okay. And you say you've been together
I'm a
for...
whore. Because I asked for a cigarette. Because he left my ass in my car is across the street.
Okay. And you said you've been together for about a year?
And a half.
A year and a half.
Yes.
Okay. Lived together, obviously.
Yes.
I don't mean to offend any couples out there, but living together after a year and a half, to me, is some wild work right there. Like, you're asking for everything to go wrong and for the relationship to have nowhere to go but either marriage or... Sometimes I just like leaving the blank space.
Okay.
I just recently went through a divorce. He's been there with me, he knows all the story, blah, blah, blah. But
I know. I'm just trying to...
This sucks. And I have to go to work tomorrow.
Do you want the fire department to come out check your eye?
No, baby.
No? Okay. Okay. Do you want to press charges? You can smoke your cigarette if you want.
Can I talk to you, though?
You're talking to me by myself.
I don't want him to be taken. Please put the fear of the police.
So you don't want to press charges? Okay.
I don't know if y'all caught that, but she said, I don't want him to get taken away. I just want you to put, please put the fear of the police in him. What? That's exactly what I'm talking about. She only used them to threaten him and didn't actually do it for her own protection. This whole, I'm tired of being beaten up. She doesn't care about that. She just wants to say, see, I have the police on speed dial and they will listen to me every time. So don't you dare do what you did again.
Do you want to fill out any paperwork? Do a statement? No? Okay. Smoke your cigarette. Sit down, smoke your cigarette.
I don't want him to get in trouble.
Okay.
But he's fucked up.
I know.
I don't want to get him in trouble. That's why I called the police and said, get him.
You guys have actually been out here twice now. Look at this shit. You fucking rips my shit all the time.
Did this happen today?
Yes.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, I see it. It's ripped and down there a little bit.
I just bought this yesterday.
I get it. Sit down. Smoke your cigarette.
Pardon?
Do your thing. No, it's fine. Do you have an ID with you? Is it in the house?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go find it later.
I know my number if you want it.
Oh, that's perfect. Go for it. First name is spelled S-A-R-A-H. Do you have a middle name?
Catherine. K-A-T-H-R-Y-N.
K-A-T-H...
R-Y-N.
R-Y-N. Okay. What's your last name?
Boone. B-O-O-N-E.
Date of birth?
10-10-7-7.
I get it. Just make sure not to squeeze my arm anymore. Make sure not to squeeze my arm anymore.
I thought I heard that. She said, make sure not to scrape my arm anymore. She is so touchy-feely, ignore people's boundaries-y. It feels grossy.
Do you have a telephone number?
407.
Email address? Yahoo.com.
Sorry.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I get it. I get it. Sit down, smoke your cigarette, try to relax a little bit. I'm going to take pictures of you in a little bit. All right?
Thank you.
No problem.
The other side. Am I going to spend the whole night over there? When it comes to, have a seat. We'll talk.
So this is going to be George's interview.
When it comes to domestic related stuff, man, you'll probably sit in there for a day, okay? Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to lie to you, all right? You're going to probably sit in there for a day, maybe 2. All right? When it comes, possibly. It's all up to the judge, all right? This the thing is that the reason why they do that, man, is because when it's domestic related, all right, y'all are dating. This is still dating violence, still domestic violence, okay? They got to make sure they keep y'all separated long enough to where nobody's going to come home and kill each other. You know, I know that might not be, that might...
Very unfortunate choice of words. And I know that officer probably thinks back to this and I don't know what he thinks, but yeah, he was right. But we can also see he is quite a small person. Like, you can see very small legs. So I guess it's not impossible to imagine him being inside of a suitcase, but still.
Not be your intention. That's the majority of the domestic violence and dating violence, battery calls that we deal with. That never happens. But there's always that one out of many that will do it. So that's why you'll probably sit in jail for maybe a day or 2. Okay? All right, you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, just keep being cooperative, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you want your phone? You want your phone?
Yes. Make sure
Keys?
you guys lock the back door, okay?
We got you. Don't worry. We'll take care of that. You go by Junior, you go by George.
George.
Is it George or is it Jorge?
Jorge.
Jorge. All right.
George.
Hey man, I'll call you by your name. Well, you want George? Okay, I'll call you George.
And that puts an end to that debate right then and there, because there's been, some conflicting beliefs across different channels. Yes, his birth name is Jorge, but he wants to go by George, and we're going to follow the police's example and call him by George.
All right, you're welcome.
Hey, Miss Sarah, you mind putting down the cigarette so I can take a few other pictures? You need me? Yeah, just stand up for me. Face my car that way. The car is that way. Hands behind your back.
For what?
For battery domestic?
Me?
Both of you.
What does that mean?
Battery domestic violence. You two hitting each other.
Oh.
She said, "Oh, you found out about that? You could see the marks on his neck? Come on." She didn't expect this. That's why she's like, why? Why on earth? I have no idea why you would ever do anything like that to me. What is happening here? And she said that in her original interrogation too, of like, why is this happening? Because she can't fathom the idea of the police she called ever doing anything against her. She is the one who's supposed to be able to direct the police to where she wants them to take action. So the wires do not connect in her head about this at all.
Doesn't go down like that. All right? Walk towards that car. County 125. I have a white female secured. You don't have anything that's going to poke me, stick me, cut me? Okay. Put your chest on that flag and stay there for me. real. This is for real.
No, Sarah, it isn't. Ashton Kutcher is going to jump out from the bushes and say, "Psych, you just got punked."
Why?
I already explained to you. Chest on flag.
Okay. That's my job.
I should probably not be together, but that's not my business.
Yes, ma'am.
So, stuff like this happens, and I have to step in.
Why am I in trouble?
Spread
though?
your feet. Spread your feet apart.
Why am I in trouble though?
Because of
Why
the
am
marks
I in
he has
trouble?
all on his neck and the inconsistencies
That's
of
me
the story.
fighting back.
And there we go. That's me fighting back. Why is this the first time we're hearing about this then? How are you going to give all of this story, say all of this stuff, and you never once mentioned you fought back? You said, "I go to the floor, ragdolled. I go to the floor." Now that's me fighting back. So were you ever going to mention this? No, you weren't.
That's
Inconsistencies of
me
the story.
fighting back.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay, step back a little bit. Okay. I still gotta check you though.
Why? Because I fucking fought back?
No, because everybody that goes in my car gets checked. No matter who you are.
No. I mean, like, seriously, like, I literally just started my job a week ago.
Go ahead, sit down for me.
To quote Natalie Lawyer Chick and my grandma, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? What does that have to do with anything? You having a job, what does that have to do with you strangling your boyfriend as he's running away, not running away, walking up the steps away from you because he doesn't want to argue with you, but he called you a whore and you didn't like that and you weren't going to let him just walk away while saying that. So you meet him halfway up the steps. Somehow, you said you were going to go for a smoke, but somehow you end up halfway across the steps. His story says he was trying to get away from you. And then you get kicked down the steps, which would only make sense if you followed him up. Right?
Sarah?
I literally just started my job a week ago.
Phone. Her phone's over there?
It's in your front seat.
Okay. Thank you.
I never got that drunk and I had restraint. I never touched her back. I think George didn't have that restraint, and at times he would hurt her back. So for all I know, all the times he got arrested, she started it. I don't know. I wasn't there, so. But I know she could get violent at times.
So that is Sarah Boone's 2018 arrest for aggravated battery by strangulation. She said the only reason she got arrested is because George's story was different than hers. The video tells a whole nother story, and it kind of aligns more with George's story than yours. You didn't even have a story. Like I said, you had an A to C. The officer gave you all these chances to fill in that story. You couldn't even come with a lie on the spot. You were waiting for them to show up. You could have thought of a full-length lie that way, but you couldn't because you were what? Drunk. We see a common thread here, and the train is making its own cameo again. Hello. How was your day? Same, girl. I feel you. You good? Okay. So while I'm not trying to absolve George of his own wrongdoings and anything that he has done in the past, because there's more than enough evidence to prove he has been physically abusive, however, the evidence doesn't quite pan out that he is necessarily the primary aggressor. And there is evidence to show that he did acknowledge what he was doing and did do was wrong and was trying to take steps to correct those actions. I have never once in anything heard Sarah Boone say she was wrong about anything, apologize for anything. Actually, no, I'm a liar. She apologized for cursing in front of the officer. And that's about the only thing I've ever heard her apologize for. And that was only to save face. So yeah, I enjoyed this rewind. I'm probably going to look back at the phone calls, the initial crime scene investigation, and eventually get to that interrogation. I do have interest in other court cases. Some people have asked me about that. I do. I want to get caught up on the interrogation here, get these motions, because you know that stuff is going to be coming out almost weekly now that things are starting to heat up. And then eventually I'll branch out to some different cases. If you have any suggestions, leave them below. And side note, I do want to just take a quick second to say, like, thank you all, I guess. People watch me. That's crazy. I've had this channel for posting for about a month now, and I didn't really know how it would be received, but there's a lot of really nice comments and people from all over the world. Look, I feel like Sarah Boone. She got correspondence from South Korea. I got something from West Australia and New Zealand. And yes, they're different. Yes, I'm going to put some respect on New Zealand's name because I know that's contentious sometimes. Someone from Canada. Love you all from across the world. That's incredible. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment, dislike if you're feeling it, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Until next time.